Hello there! Our channel already boasts a plethora of beginner videos detailing the basics of War Thunder, yet there's still much in the game that remains elusive. This video is packed with information on how to play better, uncovering tricks and secrets. A like from you, content from me. But what if, over the course of this video, you decide to overhaul your account after realizing the errors of your ways and the time wasted? For an easy and swift start, the description includes a link offering new accounts 3 types of premium vehicles, 7 days of premium account, 100,000 silver, an experience booster, and a free decal. And as you might know, premium vehicles come with increased reward multipliers per battle, meaning leveling and farming will be much smoother. So here's the first step we'll take in our deep dive into the Big Guns Showdown. To start, what's the best way to farm money and experience for leveling up? With tanks, it's simple. Capture points and do damage. With planes, farming kills isn't the most profitable. Just drop bombs on bases for heaps of experience. Ships, like tanks, rely on torpedo damage and capture points. Naturally, all this is done with premium vehicles, on a premium account, and with activated boosters, all of which are available via the link in the description. But if you're already in the know, there are some game mechanics that are less obvious and often best assigned to control keys manually. For instance, tanks have a ground vehicle transmission gear. If the map is large and you're out of harm's way, max out your gear and enjoy. However, without a stabilizer, knowing how to shift gears becomes crucial. By default, tanks start at maximum RPM, and peeking around a corner ready to fire can send your sights skyward due to sudden acceleration, causing you to miss. To avoid this, click on your assigned button and shift into first gear. These controls aren't systematically marked on the screen. You just have to remember them. Slowly roll out and fire a grenade at your enemy with 0 barrel wobble. Some tanks do not have a rotating turret, so the developers included a hull aiming mode. It works on the principle of I am the turret. Stop, activate the mode, and simply rotate the entire hull with your mouse. If you need to move, press the same button and you are safe. Another important feature is the thermal imaging camera, which is assigned to a complex key combination by default, which can be a challenge for those without a full-size keyboard. Be sure to assign night vision mode to a key that's convenient for you. I also advise you to disable stabilizer mode. Why? And it's simple. Without it, you can turn the turret of the tank much faster, then already turn on if necessary. Don't forget the rangefinder, incredibly useful, especially on early tanks without a built-in rangefinder. Though as an experienced player, you should know this. And most importantly, set target for squad. Teamwork is key to success. Notify where you spotted the enemy and focus on the target together. So we've covered tanks, highlighting what's essential to assign and use. Let's move on. If not already enabled, turn on Fuel Indication and Ammo Indication. Most importantly, in the Instructor tab, disable Auto Restricts control of the aircraft near the ground, as well as auto control of landing gear and flaps. This is crucial for more responsive control since default settings restrict low-altitude maneuvers. Here's a visual example for you. As for weapons, it's complicated, but I'll make it easy for you. First, understand the type of missiles on your secondary weapons. This is done in the main menu. For instance, air-to-ground, air-to-air. Go into settings, but don't blindly follow my key assignments. Settings are personal, but I'll show you the general principles and which options to choose. Switch primary weapon. The second most important button where you'll select your tank method. Then assign a separate key to lock weapons air-to-air and the same key to lock weapons air-to-ground, as well as lock guided bombs. Then fire countermeasures to set up decoys. The most important tip that will simplify your gameplay is to activate and deactivate the target points that you'll be spamming to lock onto enemies. I recommend assigning this to your mouse wheel for quick action pulling to make targeting easier. To make it easier to set up and test all of this, you can go to the test track by clicking on the PC and choosing Test Drive.
Although you probably already knew this, if you spent hours playing and still don't know how to test a vehicle in War Thunder, you may need more beginner-friendly guides.
Which we fortunately have on our channel. Learn the basics of the game there. There's also the War Thunder Wiki, where you can dive into detailed info about the strengths and weaknesses of any vehicle. For those who don't know how to sell vehicles, here's the breakdown. Occasionally you may have heard of it, but don't know how to do it because there is no direct sell button in the game. In short, and not for the first time, the game has a regular event called Marathon, where you can complete a special battle pass and claim vehicles for 19 days each month. But if you're exceptionally diligent, you can sell these vehicles if you have a coupon for it, which looks like this. Not too hard to obtain. Requiring about 3 to 4 hours of play per day, the easiest way to farm these points is via aviation. It's through the marketplace that people sell vehicles, usually for a high price. Camouflage tends to be cheap, so don't get too excited when you see a tank for pennies. It's just a skin. And some simple but extremely useful tips to improve your Warthunder gameplay. Since we're playing a non-random shot game, you can and should target the most vulnerable parts of the tank, such as the hatches and lower front plate. Even if your opponent has better specs, these areas can still give you an advantage. But what should you do after capturing a point? Exactly, occupy the safest spot and wait, rather than moving on, as the enemy will surely try to retake it. There's nothing more frustrating than getting shot from behind. Just hold the point until your teammates arrive. Don't risk moving on your own. Another clever and situational hack? In control settings, check which key toggles turn on/off engine. If unassigned, do so. This trick comes in handy on maps with lots of covers and turns. If your enemy doesn't blast music, they'll likely hear your engine from behind a wall, prepping them to attack. I suggest turning off your engine. Compare the sound for yourself to see the difference.
Stop the engine!
If you haven't been spotted, it's impossible for the enemy to pinpoint your location, allowing them to drive past, exposing their rear to your fire. So always play with sound on and rely on it. Bushes don't rustle on their own. Someone's likely hiding inside. If it's not a teammate, I see no reason not to shoot. No matter how much you enjoy listening to classical music while sipping elite expensive tea, turn everything else off. Streams, audiobooks, movies, music, all off if you want to improve your gameplay. Also, in the game settings, mute all sounds except for engines, both yours and the enemy's. Turn down all music and background noise to 0. We need to hear every little sound. Now, a few words about artillery strikes. Literally a cheat. You can kill even those you can't see. But I want to tell you about another aspect of this magic button. Use artillery as a tool to pressure entrenched enemies, drive them from cover, target snipers, and move under the cover of an orbital strike straight from the Death Star. Annihilate enemies amidst the roar of exploding shells. You'll be able to move about freely in this din. Your engine won't be heard, and the enemy, panicked by the artillery fire warning, will likely leave cover. Use this time to calmly pick them off or do whatever you want. All in all, a very useful tool. I recommend using it on cooldown. And now, a small visual life hack. If you've already set your graphics to minimum and your eyes are bleeding, the following information is for you. Head to Options, Basic Parameters, select Post FX Setting. Turn off Dynamic LUT. Dial Vignette down to 0, or leave just a bit. TPS sharpness should not exceed 1/3, but aim for about 10%. Adjust in the range according to your eyes and monitor, and it's individual. Turn everything else to 0. In color correction, you can play around and choose a film or default. Again, personal preference, example on your screen. Tone mapping. Many will be fine with default, but I suggest trying Reinhardt. If you go with Reinhardt, you may also want to try L inverted white, depending on the quality of your monitor. Reinhardt is recommended for ground vehicle enthusiasts, while default is fine for the rest, i.e. air and naval forces. In fact, we have a guide to optimizing Warthunder on our channel where you'll learn how to get your rig up to a reasonable frame rate without sacrificing too much visually. Highly recommended if you're struggling with FPS. Next, an incredibly non-obvious aspect, especially for newcomers accustomed to more casual gameplay. Limit your ammunition before battle, as each shell is a physical object within the tank. A hit can detonate them, resulting in a one-shot. To avoid such situations, don't carry more than 20 to 30 shells at a time. You can always resupply at any controlled point. And if you've already leveled up a ton and are wondering what else to boost this year, rumor has it that the developers may add a Ukrainian tech tree in 2024. So focus your efforts on accumulated premium boosters there. In the meantime, you still have time to collect them through in-game logins or simple PvE mode. If you haven't leveled up yet or want to prepare for this event from scratch, the description includes a link on how to best approach it. Create a new account with massive bonuses, 3 types of premium vehicles, 7 days of premium, 100,000 silver, as well as the same experience boosters and a gift decal for tanks, plus rental of another tank and plane. Interestingly, changing the language on this page also changes the bonuses. If you're unsure what's cool and what's not, here's the deal. The best tank is on the English version of the page. Language selection on the website doesn't affect the game region or in-game language. You're simply opting for different gifts that perform better in ground, air, or naval combat. Teaching something new is no small feat, so let's share our secrets in the comments, and together we'll create the ultimate guide. From me, you've learned about key tasks, minor game mechanics, and the best ways to farm experience and money. I hope to see other War Thunder secrets revealed in the comments. If you're interested in War Thunder, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We frequently post videos on various topics related to the game. Did you find this video helpful? Leave a like. That's all for now. To stay updated on new content, hit the notification bell and be the first to get the latest content. Good luck and see you soon!